You guys asked, and Apple has finally listened. The new 27-inch iMac 5K is finally here. Welcome everyone to Apple Insider. Today's a fun day because you guys have been asking when we are going to see new iMacs. We have covered rumors on recent AirPods, on iPhones, and pretty much everything. And the one question that we kept seeing in the comments was, when is Apple going to release a new iMac? Well, today is that day. Apple has just revealed an updated 27-inch iMac 5K line with new 10th gen Intel processors, finally making the jump to a 1080p camera, SSD upgrades across the board, a new nano etched glass option, and much more. And that is what we're going to dig into this video. So let's go ahead and talk about all the changes that are coming here to the new 2020 27-inch iMac 5K. It's always best to rip the band-aid off first. So no. The new 27-inch iMac 5K did not get that big redesign that many of you were hoping for. Now, that's not to say that that redesign is not coming. Apple could just be saving for its own Apple silicon-based Macs rather than this last round of, or one of the last rounds of Intel-based Macs. So no new redesign here, but Apple did make a huge amount of changes. So starting off with the display itself, while the resolution does not change, still 5K, it does now support Apple's True Tone technology, which allows it to adjust its white balance to the lighting of the room. So if you have more warm lights, it'll adjust the display to that. If you have cooler lights, it'll adjust the display to that. It makes a lot of sense in Apple's portables as you go ahead and move them room to room or inside and outside. All of that is just constantly changing. It doesn't make as much sense on a desktop display, but it definitely helps. It doesn't change all the time, but it will change to fit the room that is in. So True Tone is now coming to the iMac 27-inch. We also have a new option. It's a $500 upgrade to that nano etched glass. If that sounds familiar, it actually debuted with the Apple Pro Display XDR. It's a very fancy technology. We'll cover in a lot more detail in our hands-on video, but essentially it's going to really cut down on glare and it's going to look amazing. So we'll talk more about that when we actually get our hands on. We can show you what that means in further detail. Internally, Apple has made the jump to 10th gen Intel Silicon. So on your entry-level models, that is a 6-core i5 processor. And for the first time on the consumer-level iMac, you can get a new 10-core chip. It is the 10th gen 10-core i9 processor. So you've got the i5, the 6-core at the beginning, all the way up to a 10-core i9 processor on the high end, on the most spec'd out iMac. Storage has been upgraded starting at 256, going all the way up to 8 terabytes. SSD storage is now standard across the board. Previously, Apple had options for fusion drives inside of the iMacs, which was like a hybrid solid state hard drive option, but now that is gone. Now we are really looking at SSDs from the basic 256 all the way up to that 8 terabyte option. So SSDs now across the board. Apple has brought the T2 chip to the iMac 5K. That T2 chip adds to security, also helps for audio processing. There's a whole bunch of things. We've covered the T2 chip in more detail in the past, but that is now coming to the iMac line. It previously was really in Apple's portables and a few other machines, but now coming in to the 27-inch iMac 5K. For RAM, Apple is starting these things off with a paltry 8 gigs, no matter which pre-config you choose, but that is configurable all the way up to 128 gigs. So a huge range in terms of RAM from 8 gigs to 128. Apple is also finally upgrading that eyesight, the FaceTime, whatever you want to call that front-facing cameras on the iMac. No longer is it 720p, it is now 1080p. Honestly, personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple kind of made that decision kind of during this pandemic as people are being trapped at home using their cameras more often and realize that maybe it is time to upgrade that from 720p to 1080p. So we're really excited to try that thing out and see how that has changed and upgraded from the terrible performance we saw before in a lot of Apple's built-in cameras. With graphics, the i5 models are limited to the Radeon Pro 5300 chipset with 4 gigs of GDDR6 RAM. The upgraded i7 and i9 models come standard with the Radeon Pro 5500 XT with 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory, and the upgraded models can be upgraded to the Radeon Pro 5700 with 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory for an additional $300, or the Radeon Pro 5700 XT with 16 gigs of GDDR6 memory for $500. The ports on all these machines remain the same. We have Thunderbolt 3 ports, Ethernet. You can upgrade to 10 gigabit Ethernet if you'd like to, but otherwise these are the same Macs we know and love, just with a lot of upgrades this time around, even if we don't have that redesign. We are excited. We've already ordered ours for our studio, and we will share with you as soon as we get them. These things are all available to order right now. You can find the best prices already on these new models at the links down below in the description, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Reach out to me on Twitter at Andrew_OSU and let me know what you love about the new machines or what you'd like to see in the new Apple Silicon ones launching down the line.